Welcome to Apple EDC.
And in today's video, we're going to explain why shortcuts with tags make Apple Notes an even more kick application. So in our last video, we made a QR code generator. And the first thing we did after our little housekeeping stuff is we created a tag called QR codes. After we created the tag, we went down here and we appended it to our note. Why did we do that? Let me explain. Let's take care of a little housekeeping first. We made our QR code machine example using iOS 18.6, but today we're on a beta of iOS 26. And beside the cool look that we have with this new version of iOS, one of the things that's changed in shortcuts is that the generate QR code action is now called the create QR code, and it has a few more options for us, including the foreground color and the background color, and whether or not we want rounded edges. So that's kind of cool. And I wanted to kind of get that out of the way before we got into the whole reason for having tags. The purpose of tags is to help us find specific notes. You can think of them as keywords that Apple Notes manage for us. Tags work across different folders inside of Notes, and they won't duplicate if you make a tag that's named the same as a tag that's already existing. They're listed at the bottom of the Notes folder page. Deleting a tag doesn't delete the note, it only deletes the tag. It removes it from all the notes that have that specific tag. So, where are tags? Where are they located? Well, I'll show you. Let's go in to Apple Notes. I'll open my notes, and I happen to be on this little clipping note that I'd saved because this is a brand of spaghetti sauce we like. So let's back up, and then let's back up again, and I'll just collapse this, and you'll see that there's a tag section, and we'll open it up, and we can find EDC clippings. So let's tap that, and there's our spaghetti sauce. And you'll notice that it's in this second brain folder, but these happen to be in Notes, right? So the folders don't matter. So we'll open this back up again, and we can come down here and we can see that it's in clippings and in EDC clippings. And if I were to come back here to this tag section right here, I'm going to long tap it. I can rename it or I could delete it. I don't want to delete them, but just for an example, let's rename it, and we'll call it EDC Clippings Cool, and hit rename, okay? There we are. So now EDC Clippings has disappeared, and now it's EDC Clippings Cool. We can tap on that and go back to our spaghetti sauce, and you see that it's changed the name, and it would do that for any note in any folder that had that same tag. Well, so far we've only been talking about adding tags using shortcuts, but there's another way to add tags that's really cool. I'll just come down here to the end and I'll type a hashtag, and I can add a new tag just like so. And when I do the carriage return, I've made a new tag. I can come back to our folders and I can see that we have an EDC demo tag that's been added. It's right here. So that's pretty cool. Now it's important in settings that we have auto tags enabled. So let's open up settings, and I'll just type tags, and here's the auto convert to tag. Right here we want to make sure that's turned on. Another great way to organize notes are to use something called smart folders. Now smart folders exist along with regular folders, so if we go ahead and go back to our folders list, and we'll just open it up here, and we can see some of our folders have these little gears. Well, those gears mean that those folders are actually smart folders. Let's go ahead and make one, and I think that will help explain how to use them. So we'll just click up here to add a folder, and let's call this folder My QR Codes. And then we're going to make it into a smart folder. So we go here, and we want to use the tags criteria, although you could use any of many of these criteria, and you can also use them in combination. So you could do something like certain tags created after a certain date. But for now, let's just go ahead and do a tag. So we'll click here, and we'll say any selected tag, okay? So it shows me my list of tags, and I'm going to click Show More. I want to go ahead and use the QR codes tag that our shortcut made for us when we created our QR codes. Okay, there it is right now, so I'm going to select it. I could also select other tags, so my smart folder would show me all of my notes that have QR codes and, let's say, receipts as an example. So it's a very powerful tool. But for now, we'll just go with the one tag and we'll say, okay, all right, we've got that made, and I'll click OK here, all right? And as you can see in our folders, we now have a smart folder called My QR Codes. If I tap on that, it shows us our QR codes, and I'm going to click on it, and you can see that it's got the QR codes tag. Okay, so let's wrap this all up with an example of how we can use notes, tags, and shortcuts to help us keep our business organized. Let's go ahead and open our notes and make a new note. And let's say we had a meeting with a client named ABC Industries. And from that meeting, we got a to-do list of items to do, something like that. Since it's our first meeting with this new client, let's go ahead and make a tag for them. We'll type a hashtag, and then we'll type, and because they're a client, let's make another hashtag called clients, and we're good to go there. Now, let's say a little while later, we have a conference call with another new client. So let's go ahead and take notes on that conference call. And this company is called XYZ Services. And for the sake of simplicity, another to-do list of things to do from that call. Okay. And let's go ahead and add a tag for him. And let's another tag because he's a client, and we're good. So now we have two notes, one from ABC and one from XYZ. So let's go ahead and make a couple of smart folders. We'll come up here for a new folder, and we'll call this one. We'll go ahead and use our tags. We'll select a tag, ABC. All right, we've got that one made. And there it is. If we open it up, we see we have our note. Now, while we're here, let's make one for our other client. We'll make it a smart folder as well, the same way. Okay, so we have two smart folders now, one for ABC, one for XYZ. And last but not least, let's make a third smart folder that has all of our clients in it. And you guessed it, just like that. Now, if we open this up, we'll see that we have our notes from each of our clients. Now let's use the power of shortcuts to make these available right from our home screen. So let's go ahead and open our Shortcuts app, and we'll make a new shortcut, and let's call this one Original, And maybe we want to give it a nice icon. Okay, and for our first action, I'm going to use one of my pinned actions. I can click on the little eye and see that it is pinned, and we're going to add that to our shortcut. Maybe something like that. And the next thing we want to do is dismiss Siri, just in case we said, hey Siri, ABC Industries, it would run this shortcut, but we want Siri to go away as soon as it starts to run. That's why we have this action here. And then let's see if we can find the Show Notes folder action right here. You can click on the little eye to see what this does. Get quick access to one of your notes folders. Okay, we'll add that. And we'll tap on here, just a quick tap. And we'll pick the folder. We want it to be that smart folder, ABC Industries. Now we want to stop the shortcut. Okay. And now let's go ahead and add this as a bookmark. Add to home screen. That looks pretty good. We'll just say add. Let's go ahead and duplicate this one. And let's go ahead and change this folder, XYZ Industries. And then while we're at it, let's put that on the home screen. That looks good. And now let's duplicate it one last time. And we're going to call this anything you like, just as an example. And let's go ahead and change this folder to our client's smart folder. And then we'll add this to our home screen. That looks good. And now we're done with our shortcuts. So we can go back to our home screen here, and we have a bookmark for each of our clients, and then a bookmark if we wanted to see all of our clients. So for example, let's look at what we have for XYZ. And then we see we have XYZ. I misnamed him here, but you get the idea. There's my notes. There's my tags. I'll go back to my home screen. And let's say I want to see ABC. There's ABC. There's my note. And if I wanted to see all my clients, they're my clients. And of course, let's say the next day we get a call from our ABC Industries client. So we want to take a note about that call. I'll just make a new note. And we have some to-do list things here because we have to make some revision. Something like that. And then of course, let's go ahead and add a tag. We can pick it from our picker here, add our client hashtag as well. And then of course, when we open up ABC Industries, now we have two notes. As always, thanks for watching. I hope this one helped. Please check the links in the description if you'd like to support our channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.